So if you're tired of spending hours writing WordPress blog posts from scratch, this video is for you because I'm going to show you how to automate the entire process using AI. You're going to learn how to get started with Hostinger's VPS hosting and set up your own self-hosted n8n instance to run AI-powered WordPress workflows. And if you're brand new to all this, I know that probably sounded super technical, but trust me, once you get the hang of it, you'll be a pro in no time. And like I said in this video, we're going to go through how to sign up for a VPS hosting plan with Hostinger. We're then going to install and configure your n8n account and then build an automated workflow that writes complete WordPress blog posts for you. It even automatically publishes the content as a draft on your WordPress blog. All you'll need to do is provide a few keywords. That is it. And this means that you could publish high-quality, long-form articles in minutes instead of hours, giving you more time to focus on growing your site. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to combine Hostinger's VPS hosting with n8n and the AI tools to speed up your WordPress content creation process like never before. And real quick, before we get started, if you get any value out of this video, I would greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe to the Blog with Ben YouTube channel. Helps me bring you more resources, and it keeps you up to date with all of the AI, web, and tech trends happening throughout the year. But either way, thank you so much for all your support. All right, with that being said, let's get started. So first things first, let's quickly cover what we're using in this video. A VPS, or Virtual Private Server, gives you dedicated resources and full control over your hosting environment, so your site or app runs fast and stays secure. This also means you get isolated resources that are not shared with other users, which means better performance than shared hosting. n8n, on the other hand, is a powerful open source automation tool that connects your favorite apps and services, letting you build custom workflows without needing to code everything from scratch. And to run n8n at its best, you'll want reliable, high-performance hosting, and that's exactly why we're using Hostinger's VPS. It combines powerful AMD EPYC processors and fast NVMe SSD storage, so your workflows run smoothly and your site stays responsive. You also get full root access, giving you total control to customize the server however you like. Plus, Hostinger makes setup easy with one-click installations. You can deploy n8n in minutes or choose from over 80 pre-installed frameworks and CMS options. And their VPS is also scalable, so as your automations grow or your traffic increases, you can easily upgrade your plan without any hassle. Everything stays private and secure with your self-hosted n8n, and you have the freedom to build custom nodes and flexible workflows. You'll also have Cody, Hostinger's AI assistant, ready to help you manage and configure your server anytime. And for peace of mind, free automatic backups and manual snapshots keep your data safe and easy to restore. So on that note, let me show you how easy it is to get started with Hostinger's VPS web hosting and n8n. So first, head over to hostinger.com/blogwithben. And then use my coupon code BLOGWITHBEN at checkout to save an extra 10% on your plan. And you can access both of those in the video description below. And when you click on that link, it'll take you to Hostinger's homepage, which is what you're looking at right now. And from here, hover your mouse over Services in the navigation menu at the top of the screen. And then from that drop down, click on where it says n8n VPS hosting. This is where you'll find the special VPS plans that come with self-hosted n8n ready to go. And taking a closer look at each plan, you can get started for as low as $4.99 a month with the KVM1 plan. And if you're just testing things out or running lighter workflows, this is perfect. Now, if you're new to all of this, KVM stands for kernel-based virtual machine, which means each VPS plan here is fully virtualized. This gives you dedicated resources like CPU, RAM, and storage that aren't shared with other users. So your automations and your WordPress website or blog get consistent performance and better security compared to shared hosting. Now, the KVM1 plan is great for starting out with one virtual CPU, 4 gigabytes of RAM, 50 gigabytes of storage, and 1 terabyte bandwidth. Now, if you need more power, the more popular KVM2 doubles that, and then for bigger workflows or multiple sites, you could scale up to KVM4 or KVM8 for even more resources. Okay, then once you know which plan works best for you, go ahead and click the Choose Plan button within your preferred option. Again, I recommend the KVM2 plan because it gives you more CPU power, more RAM, and extra storage, which means your AI tasks and WordPress automation workflows will run faster and more reliably. And since you'll be using n8n to generate blog articles, create images, and publish content automatically, the extra resources help handle these tasks smoothly without slowing down your site. It's the right balance between performance and cost for anyone serious about building real automations. And then on the next screen, you'll see your cart. Here you could pick how long you want your plan to run, and by default it's set to 24 months for the best savings, but you could change it to 1 month or 12 months if you want more flexibility. Just know that the shorter the billing cycle, the more your monthly rate will be. Below that, you'll see an option for daily auto backups. I recommend enabling this. For just a few dollars more each month, your VPS data will be automatically backed up every day, which means you'll always have a clean restore point if something goes wrong with your workflows. So check this box to add that onto your plan. Next, you'll choose your server location. Now, you'll want to be sure to select a data center closest to where your audience is or where you are. This helps reduce latency and keeps your automations running smoothly. For example, I'm in the US, so I'll pick United States for this demo. Finally, you could choose your operating system or application. Hostinger makes this easy by letting you install n8n directly from here. Now, it should be selected by default, but just make sure the n8n option is selected and you're good to go. Next, within your order summary on the right, if you click the Have a Coupon Code link, that will allow you to apply your Blog with Ben 10% discount. Simply enter the code, which you can access in the video description below, and it is Blog with Ben, all one word. And then click the Apply button, and you should see your 10% discount. Just a thank you from me and a way to help you save some money. Okay, after everything here is set to your liking, click the Continue button, and you'll be taken to your billing page. Now, I'm skipping that part in this video, but after you enter all your billing info and make your purchase, you'll get this success notification letting you know that your payment has been processed and you can begin setting up your services and using them. Now, there is a countdown timer here, but you could skip that by clicking the Get Started button. Next, it's time to set up the VPS hosting. First, you'll see an option to install an additional feature. By default, Hostinger includes the Monarch's malware scanner for free. This helps protect your VPS from potential threats and malicious files, so it's a good idea to leave this checked. And then to move on, click the Continue button to move to the next step. Next, it's time to set up your password. This is the main root password that you're going to use to log in and manage your VPS. You can create your own strong password here, but if you want to save time, click that 3-dot icon there towards the right, and this will automatically generate a secure password for you. Then if you click the eyeball icon, you can actually see the password if needed. Now, I'm blurring it out for security purposes, obviously, but be sure to save this in a safe location for future use. Then below that, you'll see your VPS hostname. This is the name for your server, and you could change it later if needed. And then you'll also see an option to add an SSH key. This is optional, and if you know how to use SSH keys, you can add one here for password-free access. But if you're not sure, you could skip it for now. And then once your password and everything else looks good, go ahead and click the Continue button. Next, you'll see one final screen to review your VPS setup details. Go ahead and double check your location, operating system, and hostname. And then whenever you're ready, go ahead and click the Finish Setup button. Hostinger will now start setting up your VPS. This usually takes about 5 minutes, but you'll see a progress bar while everything gets installed in the background, and you'll also get an email when it's finished. So keep an eye out for that. Additionally, you'll see a few helpful resources here that you could check out if you want to get a head start. These guides are really handy, especially if this is your first time using a VPS. And then for the sake of time, I'm going to fast forward so you don't have to sit here watching the progress bar. But once everything's finished setting up, you'll see this confirmation screen that lets you know that you're ready to go. And from here you have two main options. On the left is where you can access your Hostinger VPS dashboard. This is where you'll handle everything related to your server, managing backups, checking resource usage, and accessing your n8n instance. Then on the right, you'll see the SSH access information. This command lets you log into your VPS using your terminal or command line if you prefer to manage your server that way. And if you're comfortable with SSH, you could copy this command and connect right from your terminal. Then below that, you could purchase a custom domain if you don't have a site yet. And on that note, let's access our VPS dashboard by clicking the Manage VPS button. And welcome to your Hostinger VPS dashboard. If this is your first time here, you may see some additional onboarding questions. Go ahead and fill those out if you want. They help Hostinger tailor your VPS experience. And then once you're done, you'll see an overview of your VPS. This is where you'll check server health, tweak your setup, or manage your n8n workflows. And from here, you're ready to start connecting everything to your WordPress site and building your AI-powered automations. So with that being said, let's move on and set up our n8n account. Okay, now that your VPS is ready, it's time to set up your n8n account, which is the tool that you're going to use to build your WordPress automations. And if you're new to all this, n8n is an open source workflow automation tool that lets you connect apps and services together without any code. And in this case, we're going to use it to automate writing and publishing blog posts using AI. So in your VPS dashboard, look for the n8n section. You'll see it listed there at the top of the screen, and then click the Manage App button to open your n8n instance. Then since we're brand new here, the first thing you'll see is a simple form to create your n8n owner account. Simply enter your email address, your first and last name, and create a strong password. This will be the login that you use to access your workflows later. And then whenever you're done, click the Next button. n8n will then ask you a few quick questions to help customize your experience. You don't need to fill these out, but you can if you want, and click the Get Started button. Next, you'll see an offer for free access to some paid features forever. These include things like workflow history, advanced debugging, execution search and tagging, and folders to organize your automations. I highly recommend doing this, so go ahead and enter your email address here and click the Send Me a Free License key to claim your license. And then once you submit that, you'll get a confirmation that your license key is on the way. So go ahead and check your email for a message from n8n. And if we head to my inbox, it will look something like this, and it will include your key, which I've blurred out, and a button to activate it. So go ahead and click the Activate License Key button within that email. And it looks like it takes us to the usage and plan settings section of our n8n account. And whenever you see the license activated confirmation message, you are all set. Now your n8n workspace is ready to start building your AI workflow to generate full WordPress posts with text and featured images all automatically. And again, since we're at the usage and plan settings page, let's head back to the main n8n dashboard. So from the sidebar menu on the left-hand side of the screen, click on where it says Settings. And moving on. Next, let's create our first n8n workflow. In this portion of the tutorial, we're going to use n8n to create a workflow that writes a blog post and then posts it to a WordPress blog automatically. And one thing that I love about n8n is that other users have created workflow templates that we can use for free. And before we dive in, I should clarify that the template is free, but it does require a subscription to OpenAI and API credits, since we'll be using an API key to connect to ChatGPT. So please keep that in mind as we're going through these steps. Okay, on that note, let me show you how easy these templates are to use. So from your n8n home dashboard, towards the lower left corner of the sidebar, click on where it says Templates. This brings you to the n8n template library. Then from the nav at the top of the screen, click on Product and select Integrations. This then takes you to the integrations library where you can connect n8n to thousands of different apps and services. And what we want are WordPress integrations. So in the search bar, type WordPress, and you'll see WordPress pop up as an option, and go ahead and select it. And this will allow you to see all the different ways you can automate tasks using WordPress. And if you scroll down a bit, you can see some of the recommended WordPress integrations. Now, there are a ton to choose from, and when you have some extra time, by all means, check them out. But for this tutorial, we'll be using the free integration created by Julio called Write a WordPress Post with AI, starting with a few keywords. So go ahead and click on that one to access the template. I'll also be linking to this template in the video description below, so if you can't find it here for some reason, it will be linked in the video description below so you can access it that way. And this takes you to the details page where you can read what this does and see how the steps are laid out. Now, I recommend reading this to get a better idea of how it works and what it does, but I'm going to be walking you through all of these steps in this video. So to use the template, click the Use for Free button, and then it gives you a few different ways to access and implement the template. For this video, we'll be copying and pasting it. You heard that right. We are literally copying and pasting this workflow automation. So select that first option there to copy it to your clipboard. Then once copied, head over to your n8n account dashboard. And the next step is to create a new workflow. So click the Create Workflow button towards the top of the screen. It'll be located in the upper right corner of that nav, and this will open your canvas where you could start building your workflow out. But remember, we are using our trusty template from Julio. So all you'll need to do is literally paste it like you're pasting something in an email or Google Doc, and voila. Now, it's pretty zoomed in, but if you look in the bottom left corner, there are some view features, one of them being Zoom to Fit. And it should be the first icon there, and go ahead and click on that and check that out. We get a much better view of the workflow template. This template is set up to handle the entire process of writing a WordPress post with AI. From the keywords you provide, it builds the article outline, writes each chapter, generates a featured image, uploads everything to your site, and saves it as a draft in WordPress. Additionally, this workflow is divided into steps, and each step contains different nodes that handle specific tasks. For example, some nodes generate the post title and structure, others write the chapter content, and others handle uploading the image or saving the draft to your WordPress site. The good news is that the whole workflow here is already built out and connected. All you need to do is add your OpenAI and WordPress credentials and connect your WordPress URL so the draft can be saved directly to your site. And let's do just that. So the first thing you'll want to do is set the URL of your WordPress blog within this workflow. So find the settings node and double click on it. And this opens the node where you'll see the parameters in the center of the screen. This is where you tell the node exactly what to do and what information to use. Parameters are basically the instructions for how the node should behave. They define things like what data to input or output, what API keys or URLs to use, and how different pieces of information flow through the workflow. Some parameters might be manual inputs like a URL or an API key, while others may be dynamic, pulling in data from other nodes automatically, etc. And by setting these parameters, you'll connect all the moving parts of your automation so every step runs smoothly and correctly in sequence. Okay. So for the settings parameters, all we're going to do here is update the WordPress URL. So within the WordPress URL field, swap out that placeholder URL with the URL of your WordPress site. And this is very important. Be sure to include the slash at the end of the URL. Perfect, and that's it for this node. So to get back to the full workflow whenever you're done, click where it says Back to Canvas in the upper left corner. And moving on to the next node that needs configuring, article structure. Again, you could tell which nodes need to be configured by the red border and the warning icon. Simply double click on them to access the node's parameters. And for this particular node, the article structure, it will be using OpenAI and ChatGPT to create the blog post title and structure. So in order to do that, we'll need to create what is referred to as a credential within n8n that basically gives the workflow access to my OpenAI account via an API key. And as I mentioned earlier, you'll need an OpenAI account and will need to fund your API credits in order to use the API key. And I'll walk you through how to set this up, but if you have any questions about API keys, just reach out in the comments and I'd be more than happy to help you out. Okay, first things first, we'll need to add a new credential so that n8n can access OpenAI. So find the credential dropdown and select Create New Credential. This opens the connection settings where you'll need to enter your API key. So let's head over to OpenAI. And like I said, since we're going to create an API key, you're going to want to log in to the API platform from the home screen by going to Login and then select API Platform from that dropdown in the upper right corner. Then log into your account, and it will more than likely take you to the Docs Overview section. However, we need to create an API key to use in n8n. So from the nav at the top of the screen, select Dashboard. Then from the sidebar menu on the left-hand side of the screen, select API Keys. And this opens the API management page where you can create secret API keys to use for various applications like n8n. So go ahead and click the Create New Secret Key button, and you'll be prompted to give it a name. So in the field provided, go ahead and name it, and you can also assign it to a project, but I'll leave it set to default project. Then I'm also leaving everything else as is. However, you could choose who owns the key, usually your user or service account, and then the permissions control what the key can do. All gives full access, restricted limits its certain actions, and read-only means it can't change data, only view it. Then whenever you're ready, click the Create Secret Key button, and you'll be presented with your new secret API key. Now I'm blurring it out for security purposes, but it'll be listed here. And you'll want to copy and save this in a safe location because you won't be able to view it again after this. So I recommend clicking the copy button and saving it somewhere safe. Additionally, once the secret API key is copied, you'll want to head back to your n8n account and within the API key field, paste the new secret API key that we just created. Then click the Save button, and in a few moments you should get this success notification letting you know that the credential was successfully created and the connection was successfully tested. Awesome. We now have an OpenAI credential connected to our n8n account that we can use with other workflows and nodes. So on that note, let's head back to the canvas. And then if we look at the node we just updated, you'll see that the red border and warning icon are gone, telling us that the node is configured correctly for the workflow. And now that we have our OpenAI credential added, that will make it easier to configure the other nodes that use OpenAI, like the chapter's text. So go ahead and double click on that one. Then within the parameters, find the credential to connect with dropdown, and you should see our newly added OpenAI account credential. So go ahead and select that one to apply it to the node. Then head back to the canvas again. And as you can see, the red warning has been removed and it's configured correctly. Then there's one more OpenAI node, the Generate Featured Image. So double click that one to access the parameters, and the steps are the exact same. Open the credential dropdown and select OpenAI account. Then once again, head back to the canvas. And that's it for the OpenAI nodes that require the credentials. Next, let's add the WordPress credentials. This is similar to the OpenAI credentials in that it will give n8n access to a WordPress admin account so that it can post drafts to the site. So find the WordPress node and double click it to access the parameters. Then click on the credential dropdown and select Create New Credential. And for WordPress, it requires your admin username, an application password, not your account password, but an application password, which we'll have to create, and your WordPress URL. So first, let's head over to WordPress. And as I mentioned, in order for this to work, you'll need to create an application password. So from your dashboard, hover your mouse over Users and click on Profiles. From here, scroll down towards the bottom of the screen until you find the application's password section, and this is what you'll use to generate the password for n8n. So first, give it a name, and I recommend naming it something that aligns with whatever you're using it for. Then click the Add Application Password button. And in a few moments, you'll be presented with your new application password for n8n. Now, just like the OpenAI secret API key that we created earlier, this password can't be retrieved after you exit this screen. So be sure to copy and save it in a safe location. So go ahead and click the copy button to copy it. Then let's head back to n8n, and within the password field, go ahead and paste the new application password. Then also be sure to enter your WordPress admin username and update the URL to the URL of your WordPress site that you want to connect to. And then after you've filled everything out, click the Save button. And then in a few moments, you'll get a notification letting you know that the credential was successfully created and the connection was successfully tested. n8n now has access to my WordPress site and can publish drafts through this workflow integration. Okay, we're almost done. So let's head back to the canvas. And staying within the featured image section, next double click on the Upload Media node. And this is a little different from the other nodes in that we only need to add the URL of our WordPress site within this parameter. So find the URL field and it will have a placeholder URL there, but keep in mind that you only need to replace the URL. Leave everything that follows the trailing slash in place. So I'll add my site's URL and then leave everything that comes after it the same. Perfect. That's it for this one. So let's head back to the canvas again. And the last node that we need to update is the set image ID for the post. So double click that one to access the parameters. And then find the URL field. And just like the previous node, we're just swapping out the placeholder URL with the URL of my WordPress site. So be sure to leave everything that comes after the trailing slash the same. There we go. Then below that field, find the authentication dropdown and open it and select generic credential type. This will then create a new dropdown below that titled generic auth type, and go ahead and open it, and from the list select basic auth. This will yet again create another new dropdown titled basic auth, and then once again go ahead and open that one and select create new credential. And even though we already created a WordPress credential, you'll need to add the same WordPress admin username and the same app password that we used for the WordPress draft node. So go ahead and fill those two fields out and then click the Save button. And once again, you should get a notification letting you know that the credential was successfully created. And then just for good measure, the parameters should look something like this. And then that's going to do it for this node. So once again, let's head back to the canvas. And you'll see that the workflow doesn't have any more warning icons and is ready to use. But before we do, I recommend naming the workflow. You can do so in the field in the upper left corner of the nav. Just type what you want that name to be in that field, and this helps with managing and organizing your workflows in the back end of your n8n account. Then I also recommend saving your work, so click the Save button in the upper right corner. And now we're ready to use the workflow. And you have a few ways to do this. You can click the Execute Workflow button toward the bottom of the screen there, or you can click the little red lightning bolt icon located at the beginning of the workflow towards the left, or you could use the keyboard shortcut, which is Command Enter on a Mac. All three options will execute and start the workflow. And when we do that, the first step is the user form. Check that out. We get this nice little pop-up form that you could resize and move it around if you'd like. And from here, you'll basically enter a few inputs to guide the workflow and AI on what the blog post should be about and how long it should be. So in the first field, simply enter keywords that you want the article to be about. For this example, I'll have it be about affiliate marketing for beginners. And if you add more keywords or keyword phrases, be sure to separate them with commas. Below that, you'll set how many chapters the post should contain. Think of chapters as sections with headings. And it looks like you could choose from 1 to 10, and let's go with 6. Then finally, the max word count. I'm going to set it to 1,000. And then once everything is filled out, click the Submit button. and the workflow gets to work. Now, you can monitor the progress with these spinning nodes, letting you know where the workflow is in terms of what's being done. And this entire workflow didn't take much longer than a minute or so to complete, but for the sake of time, let me fast forward through each node. And when it's done, you'll get this success notification letting you know that the workflow was executed successfully and the new article was also created successfully and the draft was posted to my WordPress blog. So let's confirm that and head over to my WordPress site. And if we access all of my posts by hovering the mouse over posts and clicking on all posts, how cool is that? You'll see the new post there, which was created by our n8n workflow and is now in a draft status within my WordPress blog. Now, keep in mind, there aren't any categories or tags added to it, so you'll need to manually do that for this workflow. And then if we preview the post, you'll see that we get this great featured image followed by the post content and its 6 chapters. I love it. Now I'm noticing there are some instances where I'll need to add some hyperlinks and change the heading tags to be actual headings, but for the most part, this is ready to go and has saved me a ton of time in the content creation process. Again, you'll always want to review the content to ensure it meets your standards and that it's correct, but again, I hope you're starting to see the benefits to Hostinger's VPS and the n8n automation workflows that you could build out in a matter of minutes. And that's it. You have just seen how easy it is to spin up your own VPS, connect n8n, and then tap into powerful automation workflows that save you a ton of time and effort. And if you're ready to try this for yourself, make sure to head over to hostinger.com/blogwithben, and don't forget to use my coupon code blogwithben at the checkout to save 10% on your plan. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. So that's going to do it for this video. If you found it helpful, I'd greatly appreciate it if you would like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Blog with Ben YouTube channel. Also, if you're looking to start a blog, check out these 2 videos on how to build, grow, and monetize a WordPress blog. They'll walk you through the entire process step by step. And as always, your support means a great deal to me and my family, and for that, I thank you. So with that being said, I'll see you in the next video, and thanks for watching.